Hold the telephone. Okay. I just wanted to come in to say the more we embrace, the more we embrace. Thank you for watching here on YouTube at Blooming Light at Blooming's Tribe. And I just had an appointment. I had a business appointment, a virtual business appointment, which a lot of appointments are nowadays. So I just had an appointment virtually. I had to be online, video chat with someone. And so I had to be visible. And in this case, I forgot to put like the background blur, because you can put a background blur, or you can put like a fake green screen background if you want. And in this case, I just forgot to do that. So I was on, and the camera was a lot higher because it was sitting over there, and I was kind of like cornered over back here, okay? And had the appointment, and totally non-related, by the way, to anything that I do. Okay, I just want to say that it was an appointment I had to do a virtual with the person, and they were pleasant. You know, the vibe, you know, because I'm picking up on vibes a lot more lately. This is something that's becoming of more importance to me than anything else, than what things look like, what people are dressed like, what they have, what they don't have. It's, I'm picking up more like vibes with folks. And even past, like when people are doing the fake smiling and the fake kindnesses and all of that. So the appointment, like I said, was non-related, and it still went well. I got, you know, it was great. And towards the end of this appointment that I had to have virtually, okay, and they had to see me on camera for this appointment. This has been a little bit ago. And she said, which this is what threw me off because I wasn't expecting it. But I forgot, because like I just said, I had forgot. When you have virtual meetings or interviews, you can put up a green screen, you can blur or put up like a fake green screen, but I forgot this time, okay? And so at the end, we were done, and she said, "You're a tarot card reader?" And that, it threw me off. That's because it was not that kind of a meeting. It wasn't that kind. You see what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with what the meeting was for. And I was kind of little, I said, I smiled a little bit. I said, yeah, what made you say that? I forgot that I hadn't did it, and I forgot that I had the cards right there. And she said, you can see it. I was like, oh. I said, I thought you could just see my head. And she kind of laughed and smiled. And I was like, yes. And she was like, oh, cool. And I was like, yeah. And then I said, you know, a lot of people, since she brought it up, okay, because I didn't, she did. I said, a lot of people are scared of that. I said, they see this as something like evil or to be afraid of. She said, yeah, she said, but the world is starting to change a lot, you know, since the systems as we know it are starting to break. I said, yeah. I said, oh yeah. I said, she was like, yeah, it's not something to be scared of. She was like, I do that, you know, I go within, and, you know, when I need answers, and sometimes, you know, I said, yeah, for the crazy shit that's going on. And she was like, and she said, yeah. And then we both kind of laughed. I said, uh-huh. And then she said, she was like, well, thank you for what you do. I wasn't expecting that either. The reason why I'm sharing this, the title says, if we embrace. Sometimes we are around a bunch of haters. And we are around sometimes people who don't seem to get you or understand that, you know, whatever the reason is, whatever it is, okay? and an attempt to get you to conform, you know. All hail to the magic conch. That episode of SpongeBob. Y'all gotta, there was an episode of SpongeBob. You wouldn't know unless you watched it. So they were trying to get Squidward to conform. And he wouldn't at first. He just wouldn't. But because, you know, of all the hardships that he kept experiencing and the ease that they seemed to get, okay, I'm gonna say that with air quotes, okay, and the, you know, the struggles he was getting because he wasn't a part of the Magic Conch. He wasn't part of the Magic Conch group, the cold bitch. And so he was starving and hungry because he, you know, and so he eventually at the end of the episode, he just said, fuck it. And he went there, flopped down with them. He said, all hell to the Magic Conch, because he because he was hungry, nigga. He wanted to eat. He was starving. And I think that's what these people do. You know, symbolically speaking, and sometimes literally, if they can create such scarcity and torture that by way of sheer trying to survive, that they can get you to bow. I don't think so. We are not saying all hell to the Magic Conch. And we're going to embrace and look, we're going to have our Thai ramen shit. Fuck you, bitch. We're going to just eat our Thai ramen. You can go ahead and eat that whole feast that these lowlifes done gave you, full of programmed information, and they controlling your dumb ass. You can go, go ahead with the illusionary sense of abundance. Go ahead with that. Because you ain't even a free man. You're not a free woman. They got you. They own you. Okay? Go ahead with that. We're going to eat our Thai ramen. And when we eat our Thai ramen with a different frequency, we ain't going to be like Squidward. We're going to change our attitude. We're not going to be like Squidward. We're going to manifest our abundance from within, so we ain't got to be no sellout. You'll find people like the experience that I just had. It's the reason I shared the story. When we're in our authenticity and we embrace it, and it's just a part of you. Because like I said, it's not something I was advertising per se. It had absolutely nothing at all to do with the appointment, the meeting. Okay? I forgot to do the things I would typically do under the circumstances because I got caught up, and it was all still there. And because I'm not ashamed of it, you know, it was like, okay, yeah. And then I just shared my experience, like, yeah, most people are ignorant about this. Everything can be used in a dark way, even the very things that they think are of light, which is fascinating. It's called abuse of power. Okay? It's called abuse of knowledge. It's called abuse of authority, which is something that's meant to serve in a high vibrational way, turns into something dark. Something that is meant to protect and honor and to provide. You know, people like to go around talking about they're the man of wisdom and man of valor and all of this shit. Solomon is supposed to be known as the man of wisdom and, you know, all of that. But what that stuff really implies, you got to be just. And you ain't no fucking somebody wisdom if you ain't, nigga. Uh-oh. It just is what it is, nigga. It just is what it is. Huh? Man of valor. No, you not. Thieving motherfucker. No, you not. Shit. You got to be able to be a just judge. You can't just be sitting there telling them stories from the Bible, talking about, Anywho, let me get back to what I'm trying to say. When we embrace that and accept that those parts of ourselves and start to be grateful and just go ahead and be in that energy reflected, it starts to show up. It'll show up in very unique ways. Also, sometimes, we're surrounded by people who may not think of it as bad, but they want to benefit off of it. They want to take it from you. And they want to act like it's them. That's equally dishonoring. For someone to be able to honor and say thank you and not get into this thing trying to defame you, minimize you, condescend you, undermine you, secretly impressed and motivated by you, then trying to, that's dishonorable. That's dishonor right there all by itself. It is. Somebody benefits off something, a part of who you are, and they know it full well, but then try to do away with you. That's the definition of dishonor. Simple as that. Okay. Well, but I do also want to say, I should share that I'm doing a lot of energy clearing daily. I'm clearing my energy as often as I can. I'm clearing the cat's energy. I'm clearing my son's energy. I'm clearing the space as often as I can. But more than that, I should add and say, I did a certain ritual last night, so I shouldn't be all too surprised. There was something specific that I did that had to do with more of the lighter side of things. It had to do with the abundance, the lighter side of the energy. So it wasn't just to do with clearing. And I just did this last night. And today, then I got that. Now look, a couple of days ago, I did a different ritual as well, similar. And when I went out and about, I got another experience that kind of was validating. In the middle of all of the gang stalkers, right in the very midst of it. Yep. It happened right in front of them. They may not know it did, but it did. Because a lot of them think that they think they're really controlling like that. But what that showed me is that as I shift my energy and my focus, as I maintain and stay in my own authenticity, Osiris, come here. What's the matter? What's the matter with him, Osiris? What's the matter with it? You can't be hungry. What's the matter? Osiris? What's wrong? What's the matter with it? Him hungry? What's wrong? What's the matter with you, Osiris? Huh? Okay. Okay. Come here. What's the matter with it? Yes. What's the matter with my Osiris? You hungry? What's the matter? You hungry? Osiris, why you meowing? There, miss. Okay, stand right there real quick. Uh-oh. What's the matter? With him Osiris? What's the matter with Osiris? You want him brother? You want him brother? There he is. There's your...
I'm gonna cook up this meal before I call and eat it.
Yeah, go. Blueberry pancakes. Osiris. There he is.
Let's do.
He's over there. Your brother's over there. Osiris.
Osiris? This nigga looking at the camera?
Osiris. Go get him. Go get your brother. Get him, Osiris. Here he comes, Jerome. I think he's coming. Go get him, Osiris. Go get your brother. Okay. Go get your brother, yes. Go get your brother. Go get him. Get him, Osiris. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Yay. You did it. Anywho, I hope this encourages some of y'all out there to embrace your authenticity, continue to work on your energy, continue to, you know, do the best that you can to redirect your energy and focusing more on those things so that you can get it mirrored, so that you can catch it, so that it becomes less and less difficult to see the forest through the sleeves. Okay?